The matching tattoo fail. How loyalty became a laughingstock in ink and love. I never imagined that a simple tattoo idea would unravel my entire world. It all began on a breezy Saturday afternoon, when my soon-to-be ex-husband Darren proudly unveiled his new loyalty tattoo on his neck. He claimed it was a symbol of our bond, a permanent, heartfelt pledge to our future together. I was reluctant but tried to let it slide because I believed in his sincerity. Little did I know this inked declaration of loyalty would soon be the spark for a dumpster fire of betrayal, twisted revelations, and absurd revenge. The beginning of the ink saga. It had been a few months of a fairy tale romance before Darren decided to surprise me with the loyalty tattoo. I remember standing in our tiny apartment's mirror, watching as he flexed in the soft glow of the living room lamp. "He, babe, is permanent. Just like us," he said, his voice oozing confidence. I forced a smile, feeling a mix of admiration and mild confusion. Tattoos were never my thing, but his excitement was infectious. Darren's friend Mark had even joked, "Man, you're so hardcore now. No backing down if she ever tries to leave you." But at that moment, I simply laughed along with everyone, not knowing that his friend's comment would soon have a bitter double meaning. The unraveling. 2 days later. 2 days after the tattoo celebration, I was scrolling absent-mindedly through social media on a sleepless night when I noticed something that stopped me dead in my tracks. There it was, a selfie of a woman with a nearly identical loyalty tattoo on her neck. My heart pounded as I read the caption. A witty remark about sticking around, but it wasn't meant for me. My mind raced. Who was this mystery woman? Was she just a friend? The idea of cheating had always been unthinkable, but here I was staring at a potential red flag in bold ink. I dialed Darren's number, my voice trembling as I asked, "Babe, who's the lady in the selfie?" Another loyal admirer. His response was clipped, a series of stutters and half-hearted denials. "It's not what you think, I can explain," he mumbled. The shock soon turned into an overwhelming sense of betrayal, mixed with anger and hurt, all bubbling into a potent concoction of emotions. The confrontation and twisted dialogue. The next morning, with an adrenaline-fueled determination, I cornered Darren as he sipped his coffee. "Darren, explain this tattoo, please," I demanded, my voice shaking between rage and sorrow. He glanced around nervously and said, "Look, babe, it was just a stupid mistake. I met her at the tattoo parlor. We got into a conversation and one thing led to another. Trust me, it meant nothing." "Nothing? Nothing? Nothing?" I screamed, the words tumbling out as tears welled in my eyes. "That tattoo isn't nothing. It's a betrayal in ink, Darren." He tried to defuse the situation. I meant it to symbolize loyalty to you, but then I got influenced by this crazy atmosphere and the idea spread like wildfire." His voice trailed off into silence and I could see the uncertainty in his eyes. In the midst of the argument, our friend Mark arrived unexpectedly, his face a mix of disbelief and schadenfreude. "Darren, man, what did you do? You can't just match your loyalty with any random chicks, especially when you promised me you were the ultimate boyfriend," he barked, his words laced with sardonic humor. Darren blurted out, "It wasn't planned, it just happened," while I stood there feeling utterly exposed and heartbroken. The unexpected twist. Just when I thought the worst had happened, the universe struck another cruel irony. Later that day, while combing through old messages on my phone, I discovered a series of texts between Darren and, of all people, my best friend Lisa. They had colluded to hide the truth. Lisa had secretly convinced both of us to get matching tattoos as a symbol of friendship, while Darren twisted it into a ridiculous excuse for his wandering eye. My head spun with the realization. The same loyalty tattoo that Darren wore proudly was supposed to represent a pact between Lisa and me. It seemed Darren had taken advantage of our shared trust. The dialogue in those texts was chilling. "Lisa, I really think we should do it, just as a token of our unbreakable bond." "Darren, I mean, if you're in, I'm in. But trust me, it's just a little fun. No big deal." "Lisa, I'm always down for fun. After all, we're like sisters in ink." Reading these messages felt like being stabbed twice. The friend I had considered a sister was in on it with the man I had vowed to love forever. The betrayal was magnified by the absurdity of it all. A perfectly planned charade that left me questioning everything. The wild, unhinged reaction. As the day turned into a blur of painful confrontations and more than a few raised voices, I decided that if I was going to be the victim of such a twisted joke, I'd be damned if I didn't take it to the extreme. Late that night, after Darren had stormed out of our apartment, or so I thought, I grabbed my phone and did something that felt like reclaiming my power in a world gone mad. I marched into the nearest tattoo parlor, my eyes blazing with determination. "I want something that says, 'I'm done with your BS and here's to the real ass in my life,'" I declared to the artist, who paused only a moment before setting to work. In a matter of minutes, A bold, irreverent tattoo of a donkey adorned the middle finger of my left hand. When I looked at it in the mirror, the absurdity of it all began to settle in, a ridiculous yet fitting response to the chaos. The very next day, I posted a picture on social media with the caption, "For the real ass in my life." I could hardly contain my laughter at the perfect irony. My friends flooded my phone with messages of support and admiration for my daring move. "That's the best revenge ever," one friend texted, while another wrote, "When life hands you lemons, get a tattoo of a donkey." I realized that in that moment, the absurdity of my situation became my salvation. The aftermath and lessons learned. The fallout was immediate and dramatic. Darren, unable to handle the backlash and the public humiliation of his poor choices, eventually left our apartment for good. Lisa, faced with her own guilt and the weight of her betrayal, drifted away silently, leaving me with questions about trust and the true meaning of loyalty. But as time passed and the initial sting faded, I began to see the beauty in the chaos. In every scar, both physical and emotional, there is a story. And my story is one of unbelievable twists, unhinged betrayals, and ultimately, a reclaiming of my own power. I have learned that loyalty isn't just ink on skin. It's a promise to oneself to never settle for anything less than absolute respect and honesty. My donkey tattoo serves as a daily reminder that sometimes the most ridiculous acts of rebellion are the ones that save us from a lifetime of regret. So if you ever find yourself facing betrayal in its most absurd form, remember, never let anyone else write your story. Instead, grab a tattoo needle, a burst of courage, and let the world know that you're always in charge of your own destiny, even if that destiny involves a little bit of donkey humor. There, through long nights of terror and laughter, heartbreak and hilarity, I've emerged unscathed, stronger, and infinitely more amused at the ironies life tosses our way. And trust me, sometimes the best revenge is simply laughing at the absurdity of it all, one inked memory at a time.